Welcome back. I'm Kim Bailey, she's Fulyana, and this is Inside Exec. And I'm laughing because we're actually going to talk about a topic that we put off at least twice and probably more than that. And as soon as I said it, herself said, "Oh, can we leave that for another time?" And of course it's procrastination. And so she'll probably have to struggle now to think about procrastination. She'll talk about something else entirely. But the topic today is procrastination and why we live with it, and looking at what's actually causing us to procrastinate.
Oh, I guess I have to talk now. Procrastination. In some people, that is maybe a reflector type of personality, a person who is putting it off, not necessarily, well, it can be a number of things. I'll start again. One is procrastination, too hard, too uncomfortable, I don't know what to say or what to do with this exercise, so I'll put it off. For other people, that's why you've got to know the person and how they work, because some people looks like they're procrastinating, but they're processing. So they're thinking about it over a period of time, thinking it through for the last 24 hours. That to them is not procrastination. They're working, it's all happening in the head, and they're working out what they're going to present this project as, or how they're going to have this conversation, or whatever it is. But for the proper definition of procrastination, it's just putting it off because you are, and you're avoiding it. Now, to me, I think you've got to know yourself. Am I an avoider? Am I a procrastinator? Am I the person that works under pressure better? So if I got the same job to do and I have a week to do it, well, I'll make it a fortnight. And if I had 2 hours, I will do it. That's when you've got to figure out, why am I a procrastinator if I am? What drives me? What will help me stop doing it? And call that up front. Give yourself a deadline and say, well, you've got to meet the ultimate deadline for starters, but give yourself a tighter deadline so that you can, if you're a reflector, you go over and analyse what you've done and then submit it on time. But for other people, that if you work with a procrastinator, just call them out. I know that you can do the other thing by telling them you want it on Friday when it's not due till the following Wednesday. You can do that. That might work sometimes. But just say, look, I'm not being rude, I'm not trying to judge you or anything, but we both know historically, you put things off. Please don't put this off for 2 reasons. One, because you've got a real deadline and you've got to do it. There's no ifs or buts. And the second one, it's really, you and I agree that we're going to help you change those habits. So go do it.
Yeah. The deadline thing is, or a budget or whatever else it is very important that is seen as non-negotiable. So know that we can do that exercise of saying, we do it at home. We have the clock in the main room is set 10 minutes earlier than the actual time. And we know that it's set 10 minutes earlier than the actual time, but it's done for a specific reason so that the other person in the household can get out to things on time. And he knows that it's set 10 minutes earlier. In fact, in winter, when it's not daylight saving time, we leave the clock on daylight saving time. So he knows it's an hour and 10 minutes. But in the course of the day, when you're thinking about 100 other things and you do the quick glance at the clock and you think, oh, it's that time, it does give you that buffer time. But still, at the end of the day, time is not negotiable. There is a point at which, the bus comes at 6 o'clock, and if the clock goes to 10 past 6, you've missed the bus. In one of the not-for-profits that I work with, we have a budget constraint on presentations, which is about the supply of the material that's used in the presentation. And invariably, the people who are invited to do that go over budget, and the organisation allows it. So really, there's no budget, and this is my bone of contention with them. And every time it comes back to, well, you said you set it at $100, you spent $215, and you all said that's okay. Why? Why is it okay? When you said it was 100 and you knew that she has trouble sticking to budget. So those deadlines, if you're going to set deadlines for people, they have to be not negotiable, and the person has to understand that they're not negotiable, that won't change, and there will be consequences if that is not met. And consequences for the organisation or the team as a whole are things that are a bit intangible. So it's got to be consequences for them. So maybe it's that they don't get to work in this group again on this kind of project, that they get given a different task next time, that there is some consequences for not meeting a deadline or a budget, because procrastination is a learned habit. You know, we didn't put off learning how to walk, we didn't put off learning how to talk. So at some point in our development, mentally, we started to find that things were a bit too hard, or we didn't think we were capable of doing them. So the self-doubt and the self-talk came into it, and we started to convince ourselves that it would be better left. And if we didn't suffer any consequences because of leaving it, then that sense of procrastination got developed further and evolved. What I find works for me, because I do procrastinate over certain things, that I find, again, that particularly if there's conflict involved. So if I've got to stand my ground and write something that I know is going to meet with some angst at the other end, I'll put it off, and I tell myself that I'm just processing it, that I'm just thinking about the right way to say these things, but in fact I'm not really. I might for 5 minutes and then I'll put it off and say, well, I'll do that another day. Or I feel like I haven't got enough information, or I don't know enough about the topic, or I feel underdone in that I know some things, but I'm not sure that I know enough of what I need to know. All of that, again, is the self-doubt talk coming in. So I actually set aside, and I've made it a Monday because that's a hard day to do it, because I'll often think that I've got conflicting priorities that need to happen. But Monday is my procrastination day. That's what it's called. And it's where I address everything that I haven't done. So, as you know, I live by lists, so I'll have lots of lists, and invariably the lists will have things that have just been left. Everything else has been crossed out, and there'll be one thing that's been left. And so on a Monday, I gather together all the things that are left over, all the things that I haven't done, that I've procrastinated about. Not things that I haven't had time to do, not things that are waiting on other activities to happen, but things that I have consciously made an effort to put off, to not do, for no other reason than I didn't know where to start with them, or I needed more time to think about it. And on Mondays I address those. And Mondays have become the most powerful day in my week, because I get them done, because I sit down and think, I'm not moving off this task until it's done. So if I have to break it up into lots of little steps, I'll do that. If I have to go and read about something else, or try other resources, or call on other people to help me understand it, I'll do that. But one task at a time, work through the list, get it done. And it is an incredibly wonderful feeling at the end of those tasks to know that you've done them, and to know that you've beaten the procrastination day. So Tuesdays come along, and Tuesday is celebration day. But for me, that works. For me, that gives me a discipline that I have to fall into. So if I've got other stuff that's happening on a Monday, it's still procrastination day. So I've still got to look at what hasn't been done in the previous week and work out what I've got to do. Now, yesterday there was a task that has been left over from last week. At 9 o'clock I thought, it's getting to the end of the day, I won't really worry, I know what I have to do for it, it's an easy enough task, it's not pressing in that it's not, the deadline for it is not till the end of January, so I can pick it up and finish it up any other time. And I walked away from the desk, and then I came back and I thought, no, remember, Monday, it's still Monday, it's not Tuesday till midnight, so sit down and do it. And it took me 20 minutes. Really, it didn't take any time at all, and it was done. And that task is completed and out of the way, and that whole page, that whole list of page can be thrown away. So it was a double celebration because the whole page was done as well. That leads me into talking also about anticipation. When we worry about doing something, the anticipation of a situation or an activity is always worse than the activity itself.
That's true. Following on the same lines as Kim just covered, one of the clients I have worked out a similar system. You know how you did the Monday? Well, this person identified their job is client contact. dealing with clients directly. When we talked about his procrastination was boiled down to specific clients. So if it's a new client, no procrastination, very happy, go get it. Certain clients, existing clients, they're comfortable with, like them, works well with them, no procrastination, all smooth. The clients that are difficult and give feedback they never pleased, in other words, are the ones that this person puts off or try to avoid because it's, as you said, uncomfortable and gets really worked up, the anticipation of seeing those. Anyway, so the first thing that this person did was found a way that helped him, and that is doing the 2 or 3 difficult clients on the same day. So he's prepared separately for each one of them, absolutely individualized and be ready, very much so. But said, I'll do them one meeting after another because then that day I'm prepared, I'm mentally ready, I'm going to be the client, I'm providing a service, I'm going to put myself in the right frame of mind and I'm going to address their issues no matter what. And this way, he got it done on time. It was only that day where he felt anxious, if you like, beforehand. And it seemed to work well. And according to him, it's working well and continued with it. And the anxiety of those things are lessened.
There's another system you can use where you do the things that you don't want to do first.
Yes.
So start with those because it gives you a really powerful start to the day and get them out of the way.
Or the ones that you think, I don't know what to do with that one. Just start.
Yeah.
It will get better.
and there's lots of processes and forms out there that you can use to get a start. So you're faced with something, with a task where you don't know where to start, or you don't know what you need to do for that task. Break it down.
Yeah.
And the first pass is to break it down into what you think needs to be done.
Yeah.
And see whether there are things in that list that are things you can do, things you need to find other resources for, things you know nothing about, and that might then lead to things that you haven't thought of. Talk to someone else about it. You don't have to do everything on your own, really. Google and YouTube are just the best resources around.
Yes.
If you've got nothing else to fall back on, you've got those things.
Yeah.
Truly, it's not cheating, it's not undermining your authority, it is resourcing in the truest sense, because you're looking at a world of resources that are available to you. I think that we've probably covered procrastination. Look at that, we've run out of things to say. We've said everything we want to say. There's nothing left to think about or resource or consider.
And it feels good we've done it.
We've done it now. Are we going out to celebrate now? One more recording and we can have some lunch. We shall leave you there thinking about your procrastination, and we hope that we've given you a few little tips into how you can get around the situations that you find yourself procrastinating. But for now, I'm Kim Bailey. She's Fulyana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec.